Greetings, this is This and I Me, and I recently got this tie-dye Party for 5 kit to tie-dye some shirts that I had, and I hadn't tie-dyed anything since I was like a child, and I didn't exactly remember how. I was going to record possibly the process, but I figured since it had been so long since I had tie-dyed anything, that would be too much of a hassle. So instead, I'm just going to record now, since I've tie-dyed everything, what I learned, how good this Tulip one-step tie-dye kit is, and things like that. So this, like I said, is the kit that I got. It came with pink, fuchsia, red, coral, orange, yellow, lime, green, teal, turquoise, blue, purple, violet, and black. And people had said, and the company I think had said, that after 72 hours of the dyes being activated, they will lose their intensity. So I didn't want to activate all of the colors if I wasn't going to use all of them. I had 2 specific shirts that I needed to tie-dye, and I knew what I wanted to do for them, so I only activated the colors that I needed. But that was pretty much all of them. The ones I did not use, it comes in this giant box. And then inside the box, you have a whole bunch of these bottles that have some powder inside at the bottom. You fill them to this line with water, and then you shake them all up until it's dissolved. And it looks like there's, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. There's 14 colors, but they gave me 15 bottles, so I think they gave me 2 reds. These both look red, so I'm assuming they gave me 2 reds. I didn't activate the red. I also didn't activate the coral. I didn't activate green. I didn't activate teal, and I didn't activate the black. So I didn't use those ones, but you know, it gives you guys an opportunity to see what they look like before they have been activated. This is what they look like. The box also came with a whole bunch of plastic gloves. I didn't use all of them. I don't remember exactly how many they gave you. It also came with a project guide to teach you how to do a couple different techniques. This folds out. It's a big, long thing. And then they gave you a whole bunch of rubber bands that are tied up like this, but when untied, there's tons of them. There's a whole bunch. So, oh, and this plastic, they gave you this plastic sheet too, which folds out to protect the area that you're working on. So they gave you all that stuff. And then here is what I have left. This one fell over, and there's a scary surprise underneath. That is a spider that was just in this box that I killed with that bottle. Terrifying, I know. And sorry that it's there. We almost got out of here scot-free without any difficulties. But no, there just had to be a spider. So I tie-dyed, let's see, 2 shirts for me, a mask. I tie-dyed 5 shirts. 1, 2, 3, 5 masks, 6 pairs of socks, a hat, and that's it, maybe? I think that's all that I tie-dyed. And this is what I have left out of what I activated. So there's the yellow, the turquoise, the magenta, which was used in almost every project. This color right here. The purple, the orange, the violet, which I don't know why there's like stuff up here. It's creepy looking. Blue, pink, and lime. That's what I have left of the colors, and this is how many rubber bands I ended up using. I did the spiral pattern for everything that could have like a pattern, like the hat. Obviously I couldn't really do a pattern on that, but all of the shirts and the masks I used the spiral pattern for, so I was using those rubber bands and I reused them too. Okay, now let's look at what I did. I literally can't get far enough away from this shirt to get a good shot of it, but I'll put a picture up of me wearing the shirt so that you guys can see. So here's the thing, like I said, tie-dyed when I was really little, and I had this shirt that I absolutely loved that was like tropical rainbow colors and had a lot of white on it. So that was my goal here. So I know it looks like there's a lot of white, but I did want there to be a lot of white. So this is the shirt. It was a shirt that I got from school that had like a school logo in the corner. So I literally took a different, I took the bottom of another t-shirt and I just cut a piece of that to make a fake pocket here, so I added this on, and then I tie-dyed it. Because apparently at my school, they would give you t-shirts all the time, but they literally did not care that they were going to be 5,000 sizes too big for you. So I never, ever, 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 ever wore them. And then I realized I have all of these t-shirts sitting around that I've never worn because they were way too big, but now, like, the big style is, like, back in, so I'm like, I should make those cute and tie-dye and wear them. So, yes, like I said, this is what I did. Now, here's the thing. I have some pictures of the tie-dye process with some of the other shirts that I made, but not these ones. These, like, the two that I'm going to be showing you here, like, that I will have worn, are the ones that I made for myself, but I didn't take any pictures of the process because I made these ones on the first day. Then I made other stuff on the second day. We'll get into it. But basically, this was, you know, I had no clue how it was going to turn out when I was doing this, but I wanted to go a little bit light with the dye. So you heard how many things I tie-dyed, and you heard how much, or you saw how much dye I had left, but take into consideration that this is how much ended up on the shirt. Like, this is how much coverage I got. If you were to do something with super, super, super saturation, or like especially the stripe designs, those ones are going to use so much more dye. But if you want a shirt like this, you don't use that much dye. Just for reference also, this is a size medium in Gildan. Okay? So this shirt, it looks like it has lots of nice vibrant colors, right? Lots of nice vibrant colors. And I haven't worn it and washed it again yet, but I did wash it and rinse it like they said to, like following the instructions after it was done. So let me go through the process of what I did. I'll also let you guys see the back here. This is what the back looks like. So, I can maybe put up some of my pictures to help for a reference. Basically what I did for the shirts is I pinched in the middle here. They were lying down, obviously, and they were wet. I wet them first. Then I pinched in the middle, and you just twirl like this until the whole thing is twirled up into a bundle. Then when you have the bundle, you put rubber bands around it. I used, I think, 4 for each. One this way, one this way, one this way, and one this way. 4 rubber bands. And then I just sprinkled the dye on where I wanted it. I let them each sit for about 24 hours. Wrapped in plastic wrap. And then I undid that. And I rinsed them with some cold water first until they stopped looking like there was any dye coming out. Then I just put them in a little bucket, because they say to wash separately for like the first couple of times, but I'm like, I can't wash each thing separately. That would be so many different washes, right? So I just put them in like a little bucket like that, and turned the water as hot as it could go with a little bit of dish soap, washed it out, and that's when like it really looks like more dye is coming out when you're using the hot water. And so I just kept rinsing them and rinsing them and rinsing them and rinsing them in hot water until there wasn't that much extra dye coming out at all. And overall, like, when they went from being wet to being dry, it kind of looked like the color was a little less intense. But in terms of the color fading, it didn't really seem to fade at all with this stuff that I did the first day. Here's the second shirt that I did, which is a little bit bigger than the first one. There's a little bit more white showing. Things like the sleeves get a lot of color. It's absolutely gorgeous. And the corners here, they have a lot of color because they were exposed more than the center was. So I'd say, like, I didn't want to use that much dye because they say, like, there's a high percentage of beginning tie-dyers that use way too much dye. So I was like, okay, I won't use way too much. But, I mean, most people would probably want their stuff to have more saturation than this does. But I wanted this one to be these colors and to have a lot of white because I was specifically making it to go with my shoes. You've probably seen them in other videos if you've watched my videos, but if you're here just for the tie-dye, then you have no clue what I'm talking about. But you can see them in this picture. So, yeah, I wanted a shirt that would go with those shoes. And so I made this one. I added the faux pocket on that one also. Here's the back. And so, yeah, these things, as far as color intensity, I'd say is pretty much perfect. I didn't really notice them fading at all, but once again, I haven't washed them any more than just the initial time. Like I said, I also tie-dyed socks, so here is a pair, and the interesting thing about the socks, I should probably have shown you a pair that wasn't on my feet, but I had these all already, so I figured why not. Here, you can see really well with these socks. The thing about the socks is that the cuff here took the color perfectly, but the bottom stretchy portion, it didn't. And it's not really that it faded, it's just that it kind of didn't stay at all. If you look on the inside, there's tons of color because of the way that the material is, but on the outside, there's not a lot of color. These were just old white socks that I had a whole bunch of pairs of, so yeah, they have paint on them and stuff, but whatever. So yeah, these are what the socks that I used the stripe sort of pattern for. Like, I just laid them down and did like a strip of blue, a strip of magenta, and a strip of turquoise. And I think they turned out nice and vibrant, but they used a lot of dye. I've also got a mask here that I did. This is one of the masks that I did a spiral pattern on, just with the turquoise and the blue. I also put like a wire in the top here. It was just a plain white mask. So I've got that. I don't know what else you've seen pictures of. You've probably seen a lot of pictures of other ones that were in progress. Those ones were all done on the second day. So it said after 72 hours of the dye being activated, the colors will start to be less intense. So I tie-dyed the first day, obviously. Then I tie-dyed a second batch of stuff. Oh, there is one more thing. I tie-dyed a second batch of stuff the second day, and there was no real discernible difference in the intensity of the color. But this hat I tie-dyed the second day, and while the hat was just kind of reacting weird to the tie-dye in general, there's also these like sort of splotchy parts that I guess maybe the dye wasn't shaken back up enough again. So I'd say shake the dye a lot on the second day, like if it's been sitting for a while. But this was a plain white hat that I tie-dyed. As you can see, the dye doesn't stick to the thread, which I like, and I think that's what was happening with the socks. But I just like threw some dye on here and then actually like squiggled it all around with the plastic gloves on because it was kind of reacting weirdly with this hat. But yeah, so the stuff that I tie-dyed those first 2 days was fine, intensity-wise. Now let me show you some things that I tie-dyed over a week later, I think, or maybe just about a week later, because I still had extra dye. So the different colors are really going to fade in different ways, because I tried to make another pair of socks with the stripe sort of thing, but of, like, the colors of a flame, so blue, yellow, and orange, and it was super vibrant and looked really nice. I should have taken a picture of it before I rinsed them out, because they were very vibrant. You can see the vibrancy in some of the other pictures that I put of the pink, or the yellow and oranges, you know, on other stuff. And that's what this looked like. And then I rinsed it, and it looks like this. So the blue doesn't fade that much after about a week, but the orange and yellow, absolutely. So I have to re-dye these just all blue, I think, because they look absolutely atrocious. They're both just terrible. Look at that. It's disgusting. They were going to be cool fire socks. Whereas here, this is another pair of socks that I did, once again, with a stripe pattern, well, half and half, really, with violet on this side and purple on this side, and they're a little lighter, but still a usable amount of vibrancy is here. And yeah, I know, the bottom is more faded, but that's because of the material. They say they work best on 100% organic materials. I don't know what these socks are made of, but the top is fine, and I'd say pretty vibrant still. And this is the part that peeks out of your shoe anyway that you'd see. So keep that in mind, that the colors really do lose their intensity after 72 hours, but different colors are probably going to lose their intensity in different ways. Also, I definitely would recommend doing this outside or somewhere that is very protected. Some of the time I did it inside, but like I had to open the bottles over like in a sink, because when you open the bottles, they explode everywhere. It's very dangerous. They're also very, very difficult to open. Sorry, my hand looks like it's injured right there, but I was just holding the camera. But I don't know if this is picking up on the camera, but right here is where I had a blister that formed after just the first day of pulling the caps off the bottles, I literally got a blister right there. It got infected. It was horrible. So the bottles are difficult to deal with. But besides that, I think that's it. I hope I showed you guys pictures of everything that I wanted to show you pictures of, and everything made sense. Hopefully I will have added text if I forgot to explain something. I think that's all that I wanted to say. So thank you guys so much for watching. Bye-bye now.